Hello guys, and welcome in this new video in the game engine series. Now I finally get to upload a new video about this game engine series we started. Now just kind of want to give you a quick update about what I've been working on, and also provide you the source code so that you guys can also, you know, kind of check what I've changed and all that kind of stuff. You know, there is a lot going on because of that thing I don't want to mention. And yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you're staying home. I hope you're observing all the instruction that they gave to you. So, but whatever, that's not my problem anyway. Now in this video, I just want to show you how I made it possible to parse our object. So if you remember, we've created like a object factory. If you remember our object factory that we created, we didn't use that till now because the idea of the object factory was because we were kind of going to be using like a data-driven architecture, so that we have our XML file, for example. We're going to be coming to that, in which we kind of, you know, parse our object according to the type of that object. We'll simply call the specific constructor for that object and create that object and add it into our object map. So that's the reason why we created this object factory. So if this is your first time watching this, I would simply recommend you to go and check others video in this game engine series. So we started a game engine series from scratch in C++ using the SDL library, and this is one of the video of that series. And in this one, we're going to be talking about something specific, which is how I implemented the parse object. So just want to make this for you guys who have been following along. There is a lot that I changed in the code. That's why I also provide the code in the link in the description below. You can download it if you are Patreon. And yeah, but I'm also going to go through and somehow let you know what I've changed and why I did that, so that you guys will not get confused when you get the source code and, you know, kind of thing like I messed up everything. Probably the changes that I made are not how you would have made it, but I hope it is. And yeah, okay, now just want to show you, for example, how my XML file looks like. You can see right here I have this file in which I have my object created. Now one way I could have done this, instead of writing directly in the XML file, I could have created a UI where I could simply drag and drop object. Since SDL is not you know, the best library for GUIs, it's not really easy to figure out that. I don't know, let me know in the comment section below if you have a good idea to do that. I've been trying SDL GUI, which is an extension of the Nano GUI library, but it's kind of, you know, weird the way I have to use that. And I'm probably gonna show you what I did with that. I'm gonna show you something that I did with that, but you know, I'm not, you know, really satisfied with that. I'm looking forward to see if I could somehow have something more. ImGUI is a good alternative, but the problem with ImGUI and the project we have right here is because ImGUI needs OpenGL. So we're gonna be if we use that ImGUI, we actually have to implement an OpenGL context to draw things. That means we can't use our SDL renderer with the ImGUI library. It won't work, and that's exactly the problem we have. Maybe I should have started this project using OpenGL, but you know, it's also a good thing to learn from our experience. And you know, okay, as I was saying, this is our XML file. As you can see, we have different type of object right here. I have cloud, I have static object, which I just label as S object. This is only the two type object I have right now. I don't, you know, I'm not that focused on building a game because I'm not so interested in that. I mean, get what I mean? Okay, so I kind of give some information about that object, like the category. The category is because we're coming to the source code. Just want to explain so that you guys know, because in the game we have different categories of object. We have like background objects, like scene object, in which the player doesn't interact with, like this parallax background, for example. The player doesn't interact with that. They're just like, you know, decorative object. They just bring, you know, a nice look into the scene, like the clouds, the trees right here. Those are, for example, scene object. That's how I call them. That's the category of this kind of object. But we also have another type of object, which is game objects. Yeah, I don't know, something like that, like enemies, food, and all that kind of stuff. That's another category of object. Another one could be the platformer. We have platforms in which the player will actually interact with that. But I think platforms are already like game objects, so to say, if I want to say something like that. So, and that's how I can simply add all kind of object that I want, and I will simply run my program, and everything will be parsed according to what we have in our XML file right here, and you can see the result right here on the screen. I can even add the player if I want, so I can go out and simply do this. Let me kind of grab this just so you guys can see. I hope this is gonna work. I haven't tried it, so I'm just hoping it's gonna work. So I think the player, if you remember, as we created our factory, we were able to register classes. So this type, oh, what is this? What have I done here? I don't know why. Okay, just leave it like that. So if you remember, we were able to register all our object classes. So that's the idea. So I can simply use the warrior, because if I go into my code right here and open the warrior, let me go open the warrior.cpp. So you can see I registered this class using this name right here. That's why if I just give that name here to the type, then the object factory will simply grab this type and compare that to what we registered and create the object for us. So I don't want to, you know, because the player has some different settings, like for example the size and the stuff, and that's why it's gonna be a little weird when I run this, but I just want to try it and see. So let me kind of close this guy, close this, and run this again. So I kind of run this. Oh, it's not coming. Do I need to moment? What is wrong right here? Have I forgotten anything? It's not even coming anymore. Well, okay, there's definitely something going wrong here, and I still have a lot to deal with. I don't know, maybe the position, the width and the height, that's the problem. Okay, now give me a second. I need to find some parameters about the player, because it should work. I don't know why it shouldn't. So when we create a player here, we need some like 200 and 600. This is the size of the player, and this is the texture ID. So 136, because the size here was 0, that's why he couldn't create anything with that. 96. So we kind of scale it also, and the ratio here, let's say 1. Just want to do something like that. And if I run this, oh, it's not working, still not working. Okay, what is then wrong? Well, somehow something is missing, and yeah, you can see I'm still struggling with a lot of things in this, but it doesn't change the fact that I want to show you what I have to do in this video. The first one isn't appearing either. Well, I just want to remove that. I'll see that later, and I'll try to provide a source code so that it works. So I don't know why it's not, something's missing, something messed up. I don't know why this guy is coming again. That means something is somehow wrong somewhere. You can see one of these parallax image also missed, so there's something wrong going on. But okay, that's not a problem. At least we have the most part of it working, and that's really important. I think this should be a memory leaks issue. I don't know, why should it be? No, it's not. I don't know. Now, okay, as you can see, we have this file where we can specify our object, and everything will be created with our factory. Now I want to show you the parser that I created for that. So I have this method right here. So I reorganized the code a little bit. There are some stuff that I moved in other folders, and you know, because there was a lot in the code that wasn't, you know, actually consistent, and I decided to change them and put them in the right order. So I have created this folder where I have the parser. In this parser, I create all kind of parser like texture parser, map parser, tile set parser, tile layer parser, and I also have this game object parser, which I call to parse my game object. So it takes the file, the XML file in which we want to parse, and it also takes a second parameter which is called object list. Object list is nothing than a vector. You can see right here a vector of pointer on object. So I created, since I wanted to create unique pointer for all object in our game, I created this unique pointer for game object. So you can see we have this object pointer, and the object list is just a vector of game objects, so to say. So there's nothing special about that. So, and this is actually a list of object, a vector in which we want to, push our object that we pass from our game, from our file. So you can see right here, when I call this parser, I simply kind of, give this send objects, because our play, we have two object lists. We have send object, we have game object. So if you remember, send object are those objects in which with which we don't interact with. So we simply just give it here, and we will be able to pass all our send object into this. And yeah, this is the reason why we have this guy right here. Now we do the same thing as we've been doing since we started using TinyXML. We open our file, we check if the file was open. If something was wrong, we just kind of give the error message so that we know what is missing. Yeah, and this happened a lot. It's really important to always have something like this, or you will have a lot of problem going forward with this. Now we select our root element. To select our root element, we know our root element is just these objects. So we select it, we select that root element, and we start our loop. We want to loop through all these objects right here. For each object, we want to get the properties about that and simply create an object. So that's why we define these properties right here. So we have X, Y, so the position, the offset, the size, flip. Is it gonna be flip horizontally or vertically or whatever? So, and we have the scale, we have the object type, the texture ID, we have the ratio, so the scroll ratio, how fast this should move according to the camera. When the camera is moving, how fast should this scroll, the rotation. So we haven't used rotation. I want to somehow show you how rotation, if it's, I haven't tested that. There's a lot I haven't tested. I've been just kind of, I want to do this for the cloud, for example. I want to say 140. Let me see if this is gonna work. Let me close this first. So run this. Since the cloud is not normally, I have to take something else because cloud are already somehow looking like they are. So let me take on the tree, the first tree right here. Let me give 60. Hope this is gonna work. It's clear I haven't done a lot of things here, and I need to figure out why this should normally work, because in my texture manager I deal with that, so I don't know why it ain't working. Oh no, I don't want this. Get close. So as you can see, guys, I still have a lot to do in this project, and it's really difficult. It's not so easy, and since the project is getting huge and huge, I'm getting some kind of small errors that are coming. But well, did I get that rotation? The reason is because I didn't get it right here with the attributes. Oh, now I'm sure it's gonna work. You see, that's why it's important to do some videos like this, because I also see my errors. So I didn't kind of get the attribute. That's why he was always having this 0, and yeah, nothing was happening. So I still have my 60, and if I run this, oh no, nothing happened. Okay, I didn't compile it. Oh, come on, man. Okay, now you can see this tree is, it's working. I was like, what is wrong with this thing? Let me choose another tree so that you guys can see exactly what is going on. Choose this one and say 60, because I knew this was actually going to be working. So I chose another one. You can see this tree is behind I'm choosing the wrong tree every time, so that's weird. So yeah, you get the point of this. So it's working, and that's good to know. That's encouraging. At least everything is not just shifting down in this project. Now we keep going. We have the offset. As I said, we simply grab the attribute using this function right here, which is implemented in TinyXML. So if you don't know what TinyXML is, we have a video about that where we start using this. And yeah, it's a XML parser that you can use to read or write inside XML files. That's the whole idea of this. So the renderer, we have three values for the renderer: 0, 1, and 2. So if it's 0, then we don't flip the flip. So if it 1, we horizontally and all that kind of stuff. I haven't tested this also, so let me try to see if this is working. So I'm gonna do this for this one right here. Where is the flip? I don't see it. Here, there it is. So or this one, I'm gonna put 2. This should flip vertically, so that's the idea. Should flip vertically. So if I run this, you see the tray is upside down. That's really, you know, good. Yeah, very glad about the fact that it's working. So now the scale is normal, is working, since all these trees have been scaled up, because this tree is normally really small. This tree has like 80 pixel by 112. So this is not definitely 80 pixel, this is more than that. And you can see right here we have the scale for these trees. We have the scale right here in the x-axis and the y-axis. We have the scale, and the ratio, we already talked about this. And so if you remember, the game object had like the properties class that it uses to be initialized. I changed that and used transform instead. So the transform class has been changed. So if I want to open this, if I go to objects, yeah, so game object, as you can see, we don't have this properties class anymore. I mean, for those of you who have been following along, because I felt like there was something wrong with that. It didn't make sense for me to have that, since the transform already have all those information like the offset, the size, the scale, the rotation. I thought it might be you know, logic for me to use the transform for that. So that's why I moved the transform in the object folder and removed it from the physics. So in the physics we only have collider, rigid body, and vector, and that's the reason why we did that. So and yeah, go back to my parser. You can see I just create this transform right here, and I pass all those parameters that all those attributes that have been taken from our XML file, and I create an object using the object factory. So this is why I said this object factory class was really important when we created that. We didn't use that because, yeah, it wasn't possible at that time, but now you can see I don't have to even give the type of that object. Everything is going to be done from the computer. He will take care of that for me, and will simply create all those objects. And if he can create the object, he will return a null pointer. So that's why we check first if that object was created. If it's not a null pointer, then, you know, we want to push it in our target list that we give as parameter, and that's how we can pass our objects. So, and that's how we do it. And here in the place state right here, we simply kind of, you know, call that pass object, pass game object, and yeah, we create our player. The player is the only guy we didn't create in the XML file. This should normally work. I don't know why it hasn't. It's not working for this worry, but I'll pick up on that. So yeah, and down here we simply want to, and there is also something I haven't shown you, so maybe you should see that. Let me run this. I think it's working right now, isn't it? Because I can drag and drop the scene whenever I want to do so. Set this to true. The dev mode, or say dev mode is equal to true. In the dev mode, I'm able to actually drag and drop and actually move my scene using the mouse. It's not working. What is wrong with this thing? Hmm. Yeah, need to pick up on that because this would work normally. Have I called it? Yeah. Probably because I'm updating the camera right here. Okay, I know. I want to do something like this. If dev mode, so if we're not in dev mode, we want to update. So because when we are in dev mode, we don't want to update all these components. It's like the dev mode where you pause everything and kind of edit some objects. So let me close this and start again. I hope this is gonna work. Yeah, as I said, you can see I can drag my scene. That was the idea, because since we're gonna be probably dragging and drop some component on the screen. Oh, this guy is still upside down. That's weird. And so you can see I can drag and drop this, and that's really nice because if you want to fast edit some stuff, so you just kind of drag and take the object and push it there and go down. And that was also something important I needed to show you. This video is getting too long. I will explain how I did this in the next one so that you guys can always understand how the source code is working and all that kind of stuff. But one thing I also want to say is, you guys just go out and support me on Patreon. If you're not a Patreon right now, you will also get access to my free source code and download everything from there. And for those of you who will also get, you know, to be a premium member, you will have access on the GitHub and be able to also participate on this. You can actually have access on the code and change it yourself. Probably you have better idea as me. One thing I want to say is I'm not like a game dev man, so I don't really, you know, put myself in the line of a game developer. I just have fun with what I'm doing, and you know, if I can share with some people, because I know there are a lot of people out there who can do something like this. Since I can do it, why not do it and share with others? And also remember to like this video, subscribe if you haven't now, and leave a comment if you have any question or concern, or if you want to kind of, you know, give me a feedback how I could do something better. I've been talking about this GUI component that I wanted to do. I had this idea first to create my own GUI. If you remember, I uploaded a small video where I was showing, you know, like the viewport and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to do that, but it's really huge and I felt like this is gonna take too long for me to achieve, and maybe you want to help. So thank you. I don't want to hold you too long. Thank you for watching videos on Netsuko channel. See you in the next one. Ciao.